It does a great job, it's a pleasure to use, but the best bit is the dust collection. There really is nothing in there, it's captured everything. I've just finished building my new handheld mortiser and it is fantastic. I've been working on it for a few months now, and I've done a day here and a day there, and I've put it off and carried on with something else and come back to it. And I've made many changes to it. I've tried so many different things. I've made 3 of them along the way, and even those ones have been ripped apart and remade. And I finished it, and it really works fantastic, and I'm very, very pleased with it. You may have seen this one in some of my videos. I've used it heaps and heaps, and it's done me very well. I bought the plans from Stumpy Nubs. I found out recently through my Patreon that the original idea was somebody else's. It was a guy from Russia, and the main idea of the tool is it holds a trim router, and that pivots left and right as you feed it into the workpiece, and that's what creates a mortise, and it does it very well. It's a clever idea. I've done exactly the same as well, so that's not my idea. I'll put a link in the description to his channel and Stumpy's as well, and you should check them all out and see what you think. At the end of the day, they trying to replicate a Festool domino, and none of them will be as good as a Festool domino. If you can't afford a Festool domino like myself, then the other option is to build one of these, and they will get you by, and they do the job. They're all more than capable of making a mortise. In this video I'll walk you through it, I'll show you exactly what I've done, and then there will be a separate video on the build. If you haven't seen a machine like this before, then it's basically a trim router that's held in place, and it's allowed to pivot left and right, and at the same time it can plunge in and out. The spiral upcut bit, which is fitted, then plunges into the workpiece, and that's what creates our mortise. I always enjoyed using the older one, but I always thought that I could improve on it, so that's what I've tried to do. The main thing that I wanted to do was dust collection. The dust collection didn't work at all on there. The other one had a port on the side. You could plug the hose into that, but that didn't capture any dust whatsoever. It was probably not even worth having there. And what I've done here is used a piece of dust collector hose that surrounds the whole front of the router and keeps it enclosed. I've made a port that comes through the back here, and we can attach a hose. And I can tell you this absolutely works fantastic. It doesn't just capture most of it, it captures pretty well all of it. It really, really works fantastic. So even though this did a great job, I did struggle with the dust collection. And what I found myself doing is after every cut I was turning it upside down, and I was clearing it like that and then going again. The other problem is the plunge mechanism uses drawer runners, which is fine, but the sawdust gets inside those drawer runners, and if you could feel this, it's very, very notchy. They're not that expensive, I suppose. I could have just swapped them out and I might have got another year or so out of them, so I could have done that. Dust collection was the main thing I wanted to sort out, and I think I did it. I got rid of the dust problem, but I also got rid of the drawer slides as well, and in place of that I've got 2 galvanized steel bars, and they're just running on hardwood runners there. I could have got bushings, and that would be an option, but these seem to work perfectly well. Not only am I pleased with how they work, they glide very nicely, there's very little to no play there, and the drawer runners do have a little bit of play as well, so I think this is an improvement. But the main thing is it allows the machine to be more compact. If I used drawer runners, they would have gone either side of this carriage, which would have pushed the side out even further. They would be taller as well, which would have made the whole thing taller. And also they would be a lot longer, because even the shortest ones still need room to move as well. So this machine is a lot more compact, and the reason is because it doesn't have drawer runners. I've tried to keep things simple, so they're easy to make and easy enough to adjust as well. So I've made these little stops out of aluminium, very easy to make, and I've got one of those either side. I've put my marks where I need to go, so at the moment that is set for a 30mm mortise. So what you would do is move it to where you want, undo the screw, move the stop to where you need to, tighten it up, and you do that either side. But that really doesn't take long, and I've found that I hardly ever change them anyway. It's not like you're changing them every 2 minutes, maybe once or twice for each job. And for me in the past, I generally use the same size dominoes for nearly everything. I have changed it and used different ones here and there, but very rarely. The depth stop was easy to make, it's discreet and it's easy to adjust as well. As well as plunging in and out, it pivots left and right, and what I've done is I've put a piece of laminate on the top of this carriage here, and that really has made a big difference because that slides effortlessly. And also what I've done is put a piece of aluminium angle on the back, and it holds this base piece down, so it still allows it to move from side to side, but it can't tip forward. I've also kept the fence very simple. I found with the other one, I think I only ever took it off 90 degrees once. So with this one, I've just kept it at 90 degrees. It's very easy, simple to make, and just with the screwdriver, one adjustment, move it up or down and tighten it up. I would check it with a square as well before I cut anything, but it does seem to keep fairly square as it is. But just to be sure, I would do that. I did make an adjustable fence. This was for the prototype and it doesn't actually quite fit on here, but I will show in the plans on how to make that. I haven't put knobs on any of the adjustment screws, and that's just to keep it all a little bit more compact and cleaner, and we're in a workshop, so a Phillips screwdriver isn't too far away. I know it's only a handle and I shouldn't get too excited about it, but I do absolutely love it. You can get a real good grip of it, and plus I prefer the position. On the old one, it was on the front of the fence here, and it worked perfectly well. There wasn't really a problem, but I think it did have a tendency that it wanted to pull the machine upwards a little bit, like so, where this one I think is in a better position because it's directing the force right into that corner, or close to it anyway, and I just think that's better, even though it wasn't really a problem. I think that's about it. I think I showed everything I needed to. The main things being were the dust collection and how well that works, and I suppose how accurate it cuts a mortise as well. That's what it's made for, and also how compact I kept it. I'm very, very happy with it. The build video will be out in a few days, and hopefully plans as well. I didn't mean to make two separate videos, but the build video is getting a bit too long, so that's why I did that. Hopefully you like this thing as much as I do, and hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. And don't forget to look out for the build video of this.